guys, how you doing today? This is David Lucas. Welcome back to my channel. Now today I'm going to be reviewing the newly installed MCU movie, which is apparently the ending of Phase 3 for the MCU. Spider-Man Far From Home. Yeah, Spider-Man Far From Home is a Marvel movie, and I know I'm wearing a Star Wars shirt right now. You know, they're both owned by Disney. Well, no, technically Spider-Man's owned by Sony, but it's an MCU movie, which is a Disney property, so there's that. Spider-Man Far From Home is a sequel to Spider-Man Homecoming, and like I said in the beginning, the final to Phase 3 of the MCU, and after this movie, they're going to be moving on to Phase 4, which is going to be something completely different. Now, before I get into what I thought about the movie, I just wanted to say right off the bat that ever since Civil War and then Homecoming, Tom Holland has been my favorite Spider-Man and Peter Parker. In my opinion, he's the best one that's played him. He is the perfect Peter Parker and Spider-Man all into one. He's right from the comics. He's literally Spider-Man and Peter Parker right from the comics, and I don't think you could really get a better casting of Spider-Man ever again, or at least not in any time soon, because Tom Holland basically freaking owns that role. I said it since Civil War that he was great, and then in Homecoming came and it just made me more confident in my opinion that I think he is the best Spider-Man we got. Spider-Man Far From Home. Finally to the review of what I thought about Spider-Man Far From Home. And I'm going to say right off the bat, I really like this movie. I think I actually like this movie more than Homecoming. Just a tad bit more than Homecoming, but I still liked it more. And the things that I thought that was good about this movie and that what really worked with this movie was, of course, I have to say right off the bat, Tom Holland completely owns the role of Spider-Man. I already said this in the beginning, I'm going to say it again. He completely owns the role of Spider-Man. No competition at all. He owns the role. He's perfect in the role. Something that I thought that worked so perfectly in this movie, and that really didn't work, into my opinion, for the other Spider-Man movies, was the relationship between Peter and MJ in this movie. I thought Zendaya and Tom Holland had magnificent chemistry with each other. Every scene they're on together, when they're having a little flirting with each other, they look at each other and look away from each other. All of that I thought was so cute and so actually, like, it felt real. It felt like an actual real relationship for me. It didn't just feel like it was phoning in or just being put in there just to have a romance. No, they say in the beginning of this movie that, yeah, it's almost a romance adventure movie, and it delivers on that. It's a great romance. Zendaya and Tom Holland are honestly really cute together. I think they have great chemistry together. I love seeing them on scene together. I like that whole little side plot of that one guy who's kind of flirting with MJ, and Peter's kind of trying to like get him off to the side so he can talk to MJ, and that guy notices that Peter's trying to get to him, and they have that little counter back and forth between them throughout the movie. I thought that was really good. To me, they probably were the best relationship out of any Spider-Man movie. For me, at least. I know most people, they like Gwen and Peter and Amazing Spider-Man, which is understandable. They were a good couple, and some people actually like MJ and Mary Jane and Peter Parker in the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, which personally I thought it was horrible. I thought their relationship with Sam Raimi were horrible, but that's an opinion for another review. Now, still on Zendaya, she did freaking amazing. I thought she completely did embody the role of MJ. And she wasn't Mary Jane Watson. She wasn't the redhead girl that from the comics that everyone knows. No. But she does embody the personality and spirit of Mary Jane Watson, of MJ. She embodies the relationship that she shares with Peter. And it's really fits. And as I'm watching on screen, I'm thinking, this is MJ. This is the MJ I've been waiting to see on the big screen. And I think she did a great job. Taya is a fantastic actress, and I really can't wait to see more of her in this Spider-Man universe as MJ, because I thought she was great, and I love her character. I know some people don't like it, but I actually really like how she's not really called Mary Jane. She's Michelle Jones. But still, she keeps that MJ name, and she still has that MJ personality and MJ charm to her that just fits so right, and it's new and fresh, and it's not like they're trying to repeat anything or trying to copy off other films that came before. They're doing their own thing with it, but still at the same time, and I'm keep on saying this, and I'm probably saying this throughout a lot of this movie, throughout a lot of this review, that they stay true to the character and spirit of MJ, and that's what I appreciate, that's what I want, and I'm happy they did that. I actually really think the script to this movie is probably the best Spider-Man script out of any Spider-Man movie. Yes, even better than Spider-Man 2. I think this script, it was literally a Spider-Man script from the comics put to the big screen, and it was just magnificent. It worked, it was fun, it had really good writing and connectivity throughout other MCU movies. Other people could pop in that you would never even think that would pop in, that you never would think were really important, but were, and it's really small roles that you can tell the writers went back to other MCU movies and pinpoint these people out and would put them in there. And it kept making you second guessing yourself about Mysterio's intentions, which I love, because throughout the movie you're actually starting to think, well, at least for me, I'm starting to think that, wow, maybe this Mysterio isn't a villain. Maybe he's starting out as actually a good guy, and we're going to progressively maybe see him become a villain. Because I knew from the trailers that Mysterio obviously was tricking them with the elementals and all that. I saw that coming from a mile away, but I didn't know how it was going to happen. And throughout the movie, they had me sold halfway through before the bar scene that, yeah, this actually really works. Like, I'm starting to think that Mysterio might be a good guy, and he might turn into a bad guy near the end of the movie, kind of like Mordo did in Doctor Strange. I started thinking they were going that route, but they didn't. Really happy they didn't, because it really just caught me off guard, and it was great. Once the scene happened where he's revealed that he was basically manipulated and playing everyone this whole time, and I was like, whoa, I did not see that coming, but this is awesome. And it has all the props to the writers in the writing of this film. The action scenes in this movie is probably the best action scenes in any Spider-Man movie to date, I feel like. They were magnificent. They were shot beautifully good. The CGI worked on Mysterio. And even on his first salute, oh, that's one thing I gotta say too, the first battle of Mysterio with Spider-Man is probably one of the greatest action scenes in the MCU to date. I think it was fantastic. It looked so good. It looked real. It kept me on the edge of my seats. My jaw was literally dropped to the floor. I was looking at my buddy that was next to me, and I looked over and was like, oh, they're really doing this. Holy shit. Was that good? And it was so blown away by it, and even the second battle scene was still great too. I don't think that it topped it, but it still was fucking amazing. And I was so surprised, and honestly give all the props to John Watts, the director, who was able to pull this off and make it look so real and good and trippy and really mess with your mind, because there were some parts during that battle scene with Mysterio's illusions that I didn't know what was real and what was real. I thought some scenes, some parts in there was actually real, when in reality they weren't real, but they totally sold me on thinking it was real, and that's just an awesome job that they did. And Jake Gyllenhaal's Mysterio, oh my god, he was perfect for this role. Just absolutely perfect. He completely nailed the Kington Beck, and of the Mysterio character, he does have a little different background than what he did in the comics. In the comics, he was I think a special effects artist for movies. He was a failed actor, and he was really pissed off that he wanted to be famous, and that's what kind of motivated him in the comics. But in this one, he's actually was an employee of Tony Stark. Pissed off because Tony used some of his technology for one of his own things and didn't even give him credit for it, and he was basically pissed off. That was just something weird that I'm seeing a trend in this new Spider-Man movie. Is that every Spider-Man movie is an ex-employee or was screwed over from Tony Stark. Kind of interesting, but nice way to pull it at. Jake Gyllenhaal just completely just nails the performance out of him. He's creepy. And like I was saying a little bit ago, that he's just his performance, and it wasn't just a script though. It was his performance that just nailed and pulled off me thinking that he might be a good guy, actually. And he just did a magnificent job, and this is the perfect kind of role where you get someone like Jake Gyllenhaal to do, I think. Take a character like Mysterio, who is so beloved from the comics, take him, put him on a big screen, and give him an actor like Jake Gyllenhaal. Then you just create a recipe for a masterpiece, and that's what it was. It was a masterpiece what Jake Gyllenhaal did. He's probably he might be my favorite Spider-Man villain now. I think either him or Vulture. It's one of them two. I'm gonna have to watch Homecoming again and really sit down and decide which one I like better. But he's a freaking awesome villain. And his costume, oh my god, his costume was brilliant. It was just a perfect costume. Probably one of the best costumes in any comic book to movie adaptation, I think, ever. It was just great. The fishbowl head, everything looked so real and authentic. I loved it. Now, the scene that everyone's been raving about and everyone's been talking about is the end credit scene. Well, the first end credit scene particularly, but both of them are pretty good. But the first end credit scene, whew, it was amazing. I had my jaws dropped to the floor, and I was just crazy. It was crazy. Post credit scene, it ends with Spider-Man and Mary Jane flying around together, and then MJ, I'm sorry, not Mary Jane, MJ, Spider-Man and MJ flying around together, and they land, and they about do their parts, so blah, 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 nothing really that important. And then the TV, the big screen in New York comes back on, and it's a news reporter talking about the Mysterio character and how Mysterio recorded a video before his death, and it's a video of Mysterio saying that Spider-Man did all this. It was all Spider-Man's plan with the elementals and all that. And then we get the big reveal. The big reveal that everyone's talked about. The jaw-dropping moment. J.K. Simmons pops up as J. Jonah Jameson. When that came up, me and a whole bunch of other people in the theater just screamed, "Yes! Oh, wow!" Just screaming. It was insane. It was crazy. It was something you never would think that would ever happen in a Marvel movie, and they did it. And you have J. Jonah Jameson here calling Spider-Man a menace, and then you're sitting here thinking like, holy crap, this is what's going to start, the public hating Spider-Man and all that. They do that, and then go one extra step further, and then he drops the big bomb that Spider-Man is Peter Parker, and then they put his picture up on the screen and everything, and then you just see Peter's face go like, what? And that's what everyone in the theater was like, just sitting down like, what just happened? And then it ends. And then it was just, everyone was just like, what? Oh my god, like, it completely changed, changed the concept of what was going on. How any Spider-Man, it completely changes how every Spider-Man movie is. And now in the next Spider-Man movie going forward, people are going to know Peter's identity. And it makes me, even J. Jonah Jameson is going to know Peter's identity. And it's going to be opening up doors for so much new possibilities, so much new story ideas. And it makes me so happy that this is a fresh, new take on it, at the same time staying true to Spider-Man. And that's what I love about this movie, and that's what that end credit proved, is that they can change stuff, they can make stuff a little different, but yet still staying true to the core element of who Spider-Man is and who his supporting cast is. And I am just, it was so awesome seeing that. And it made me want to see the next Spider-Man movie already. That next day made me want to see it already, which I know we're going to have to wait a year or two before we see it. But I'm ready to see Spider-Man 3, whatever they're going to call it, Spider-Man High School, I don't know. Whatever they end up calling Spider-Man 3, I can't wait to see it. And hopefully it's better than the old Spider-Man 3. I did. There was still a few problems. This wasn't a 100% 10 out of 10 movie. There are some problems with it. I thought the first act was really slow, and it took kind of a while for things to kick into gear, which eventually it did. It did kick into gear, but I feel like it took about like a half an hour for it to finally kick into gear. So it made the film drag a little bit. Some people might like this, but to me, I felt like they kind of used that Iron Man Jr. type thing a little too much. And in Homecoming, it didn't bother me as much because I felt like once they will get into the sequel, they'll abandon that and he will grow up and get out of it. But I still felt like it was still a big plot point in this movie, and it kind of, to me, dragged it down a little bit. I don't really like that old Spider-Man Jr. concept really going forward. Hopefully in the next Spider-Man they kind of abandon that and make Spider-Man his own one character. I hope they do, because that's what this journey really felt like, that he was becoming his own character. So I hope they do that in the new one. Now I'm going to do my scoring a little different around here. I usually give it usually just say a point out of like 8 out of 10 or 10 out of 10, something like that. This time I'm going to do it a little differently. I'm going to give it a grading and a whatever out of 10 scoring. So Spider-Man Far From Home, I'm going to give a 9 out of 10, which is an A-. That's it, guys. An A-, 9 out of 10 movie for me. Spider-Man Far From Home. What'd you guys think of the movie? Let me know in the comment section. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Let me know what you did like about it, what you didn't like it. I love having discussions. I love talking about movies in the comment section with everyone. So feel free to comment whatever you want about it. Just make sure there's no hate, and it's all good. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure you give it a like. And make sure you subscribe so you stay tuned for more videos coming up soon. And if you want, check out some other videos on my channel. I got some really good reviews up on my channel and a couple short films me and my few friends made. So, hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time.